You also have to go for the paint, go ahead and make some of those closer shots, 2-pointers. Don't always rely on your 3-pointers because, yes, they can be your best shots, but at the same time, they can come and bite you in the butt. But Denver had their biggest lead of 20. The largest lead for the Clippers were 12. Rebounds were off the chart for the Nuggets. Just phenomenal performance. So, Ed, go ahead and chime in here.
I am just as shocked as you are, Joe, for the fact that the Los Angeles Clippers had a 3-1 series lead in this thing, and it looked like the series was over. But then all of a sudden, the Denver Nuggets just get new life. And Game 5, they get new life. They win that one. Game 6, they come back and win that one. They were down 19, and they came back and won that one. They were down 12 in this game. And then they absolutely whitewashed the Los Angeles Clippers in the second half, outscoring them 50-33. Just looking at the stats. In the second half, your two biggest stars, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, Kawhi was 1 for 11. Paul George was 1 for 7. So your two biggest stars were 2 for 18 from the field. In the biggest game probably of their lives, outside of Kawhi winning his championships. But Game 7, for a chance to go to the Western Conference Finals, and you come out in the second half and you just lay a complete egg like that, and you just let the Denver Nuggets just run right past you. The Joker, Nikola Jokic, was phenomenal tonight. 16 rebounds, 16 points, 22 rebounds, 13 assists, triple-double for him. Jamal Murray just went off, 40 points for him. Gary Harris, 14. Jeremy Grant, 14. So everybody contributed to this win for the Denver Nuggets. Give the Nuggets credit. Like you said, congratulations to them for outlasting the Los Angeles Clippers. A lot of people like you and I and a lot of people probably thought the Clippers were championship material. Well, the Denver Nuggets had something else to say about that, and they stormed back from a 3-1 deficit down. They have to be the only team in NBA history to come back from 2 3-1 deficits in the playoffs, Joe. I would have to Google that, but I'm pretty confident in saying that they would have to be the only team in NBA history to ever do that.
I just want to give it to Jokic with, you mentioned it, 40 points. He had 22 rebounds, 13 assists. He was the player of the game.
He was, and he was completely unstoppable. And Kawhi Leonard, 44 minutes, he was 6 of 22, just a paltry performance. 14 points. Paul George, 4 for 16, 2 for 11 from three-point range, and 38 minutes, just 10 points. Pat Beverly, you don't really expect a lot out of him offensively. 11 points for him. Montrezl Harrell he poured in 20 points off the bench, but he was still a -8, whatever that means. But just a horrific performance for the Los Angeles Clippers and a terrible way to end their season. So, Joe, what does that say for the legacy of Kawhi Leonard in Los Angeles, that he was not able to come back here and lead the Los Angeles Clippers to the Western Conference Finals? And should they have beaten the Los Angeles Lakers if they made it, possibly to the NBA Finals for a second straight year, he would have been in. What does that say for the fact that he was not able to come out and actually assert himself and be a force in this game and miss 16 shots, go 1 for 11 in the second half, and only get 14 points? And this is what this guy is what a lot of people think is the best player in all of basketball in the entire world. And he comes out and only gets 14 points in a pivotal Game 7.
That's a tough one. And especially for Kawhi, that's going to be hard to come back from. And now it's going to, disappointing not only for him, for the Clippers, and I know he kind of had a lot of that weight on and, to carry the team forward. Right now, I can't say what this is going to mean, not only for him, but, you can't forget about Paul George and the others as well, So we have here, just going in for the Clippers, field goal percentage was at just shy of 37%. 3-point percentage was 25%, and free throw percentage was 75 versus the Nuggets, which for free throws was 93%, just shy of 94. 3-point percentage was 35, and field goal percentage was 49%. This just speaks for the Denver Nuggets and what type of team they are, and they were able to overcome the toughest dog, which, in this series, which was the Clippers. Do not discount the Nuggets in playing the Lakers and facing them. Yes, the Lakers are good. They're great. They have LeBron. They have a great team. But, the Denver Nuggets are going to come out fighting and fighting hard. So if
this
we
is a
get
team
to see what we saw with the Clippers, and if they keep that on, I'm excited to see what they're going to put up against the Lakers, and I really hope that the Denver Nuggets keep this up.
Me too. And this is a team that clearly believes in itself because it's been in 2 straight 7-game series. They were in 2 last year with San Antonio and Portland. Their 4th straight Game 7 series. So this is a team that knows how to thrive when they're down. When they're down, they don't get on themselves. They don't get down on themselves. They just know how to rally around themselves and come back and pull out victories. You mentioned Joker having 22 rebounds. They were plus 16 on the boards against the Los Angeles Clippers tonight. That was huge for the fact that they had all those rebounds. They had plus 16, 53 to 37. And again, for the fact that they were able to shut down the Clippers in the second half and limit them to only 33 points. That just speaks volumes for their defense. And they just, again, the belief in themselves, and they just rode that momentum, Joe. They did it against Utah, and they did it against the Los Angeles Clippers, and now they have a meeting with the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference Finals on Friday night. I'm excited for that.
Oh, yes. So, and I think the one and that what keeps the Denver Nuggets fighting is Murray and Nikola are why they keep thriving in the way that they are. So
yes. And can the Lakers keep up? Who do the Lakers have that can counter those 2 guys? Can they throw anybody out there that can stop Joker? This guy is inhuman. Jamal Murray is inhuman. They're from another planet. They're like Patrick Mahomes. They're from a planet that we don't even know about, Joe. There's another planet in the solar system where those 3 guys were born, and we've never discovered it. This is going to be a great series. How are the Lakers going to try to counter these guys when they're impenetrable? They're bulletproof. You get down 19, 20 points, they're like, okay, we're down 19. How do we get back into this game? They just play defense. They make shots. They feed the ball to Joker. He gets his points. He gets his rebounds. He dishes the ball off. Jamal Murray, he gets his points. And they just win. Yeah. They're a well-coached team, and they're very athletic. They're supremely talented, or else they wouldn't be in the Western Conference Finals. This is going to be a hard matchup for the Lakers.
Yes, indeed it is. And I'm looking here with the Lakers of who they have and would be a matchup, that would be, for it to be a good fight. They have LeBron. They have Dwight Howard can be another possibility, but, I'm not too confident in that.
I think Joker would eat him alive. He would eat,
I really can't
Howard alive.
See, just hear who they would be up against to overcome the Nuggets at this point.
You got AD. AD is going to have to take probably a good share of trying to stop Nikola, which is going to be very hard to do. AD is supremely talented, but you meet a guy like Nikola Jokic, the best big man in all of the NBA. Good luck trying to stop him, even if you're Anthony Davis, or whoever they throw at him.
Yeah, that probably would be the best bet. Would be Anthony Davis. So, but excited to see it's going to be a good West Conference Finals. And then we'll go from there. And, like we talked, we said it here and then we'll say it again. Last game, Nuggets and Clippers, how close that was. Nuggets have a fight in them. We talked about it here earlier in the show. Halftime, 2 points away, and it just literally slipped away from the Clippers. Just very, very surprising, stunning, disappointing, not to say the least for the Clippers.
It's all about the adjustments that the Denver Nuggets made when they got into the locker room at halftime and what the Los Angeles Clippers didn't do in their planning to counteract the Denver Nuggets and what they were able to do in the second half. It's just stunning that Kawhi went 1 for 11 in the second half and playoff P went 1 for 7. Your 2 biggest stars went 2 for 18 in crunch time in the second half.
Yeah, just amazing. So the Nuggets and the Lakers faced off on Friday, September 18th. Check out your cable listings for that channel. And we're all excited for that game and see what's going to come of it for that series. Ed Cole, my lovely co-host.
Yes, ma'am. Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn. Where can our listeners find you?
Okay, Instagram at EdwardCole301 and Twitter at EdCole43.
Okay, awesome. And you can go ahead and find me at Instagram and Twitter, J Rosalie. That's JROSALYE. And make sure you follow us Insight Sports Network on Instagram, Insight Sports Net, and Twitter, Insight Sports with an extra S at the end. I thank you everyone for tuning in, listening in. Find us again next week. Until then, have a good night and have a great week.